y'all, I'm going to drink some sweet tea, and I'm going to tell you about my angel number 2. Talking about the angel in the metro reminded me of a couple other times that I met angels, and they've always been men. So, this one happened when I was 18 years old, living in Southern California, going out and partying with my friends. One of whom was a girl who was born and raised in that area, and she was very, just sort of the quintessential party surfer van chick. And she and her two kind of surly friends. It was sort of like in the movie Mean Girls, there was like the mean girl and then the two friends, and the three of them formed this unholy triumvirate of mean, right? Well, I ended up in the, I was the Lindsay Lohan of the group. I was just kind of out there on the sideline. So anyway, but they'd take me around. We'd have fun. So anyhow, one night we'd gone to this place called Handlebar Saloon. It was in it was in Santa Ana, and it was a 18 and over club. You had to get your hand stamped, obviously, if you were less than 18, which I was. I need a drink. And so, and we were always dressed to the hilt, but I had the big hair and low-cut silk top, you know, tucked down into my high-waisted jeans, and I was wearing the shoes by this company called Bear Traps. They were big old high platforms on a big old high heel with leather crisscrosses over the top, and boy, I was dressed up. Lots of makeup, lots of perfume, lots of alcohol. So we get into the place and we're dancing and we're surreptitiously drinking, even though we weren't supposed to. Finally, after about an hour, management spots us and kicks us out. Well, it was quite late, and we were just kind of hanging around on the street, I guess the way 70s club kids did it. I mean, you'd hang out in the doorway talking to the bouncer. You'd end up, you know, back behind the building, you know, smoking, drinking, or popping something. When you'd come back around and your friends would be off and you'd meet up somewhere else. Well, I got separated from my crew, and I was probably, it was probably about maybe 2 in the morning. Couldn't find them. The streets were beginning to empty out. People were going home. I find myself essentially alone on this street. I couldn't find the car. I walked around a little bit, couldn't find it, and I was real drunk, so I can't, you know, who knows, I might have walked past it and just didn't notice. Anyhow, so here I am about 10 miles from home. Now, this bar was on the very same street that bordered my neighborhood, and we lived right up against the concrete fence that on the other side was the street. So essentially 10 miles to the north was home. So after freaking out a little bit and kind of being scared sober, I had no money in my pocket. I had no ID. And I could call my boyfriend at the time because he was working. He worked nights. So I figured out I'm going to have to walk home 10 miles. Okay, well, I'm game. So what I did, I was so scared, I would go from shadowy spot to shadowy spot. So I'd run like hell to a shadowy spot, and then I'd wait to see if there's anybody around, and when it looked safe, like there wasn't anybody, I'd get up and I'd haul ass to the next shadowy spot, and then I'd hide, right? So I was planning on doing this for 10 miles, okay? So I must have gotten about, I don't know, maybe a mile up the road. And I came to this place where there was no place to hide. There was, nothing but the faces of buildings on one side, no trees or anything. I mean, it was just one straight shot. So crossing the road wouldn't have made any sense. On my side of the road that I was walking on was this monstrous, huge parking lot. And it was an old, crusty parking lot, and it was probably for some kind of a public building, I'm guessing, because it was really big. No trees on it, no pretty landscaping. It was just a one big-ass patch of tarmac. So I realized I was going to have to cross this thing to get way on the other side where there were some trees. So I get my courage up. Oh, and incidentally, by this time, I had broken one of my shoes, so I just took them off, threw them away. I should have kept them for weapons, right? But being an idiot, I just threw them in the nearest trash can. So here I am barefoot. And, you know, trying to get home. Okay, this is the second barefoot angel experience I've had. How funny. Anyhow, or karma experience, anyway. So anyhow, I'm starting to cross this parking lot, and this parking lot was nasty. I mean, it had rocks, glass, condoms, potholes. It was bad. It was a scary parking lot. And I'm picking my way across this street. Oh, ow, ow, you know, hopping on one foot, trying to avoid the hazards along this thing. And all the time I'm looking around thinking, oh shit, I gotta get across this thing. So I get halfway across the parking lot, halfway, out in the middle of nowhere, right? Just a target. Anybody could have hit me with your eyes closed. So just as I'm I'm on the home stretch now, a car pulls into the parking lot, way at the opposite end where I was headed. Pulls in real slow, turns in, starts coming straight at me, real slow. It gets up towards me, and I can see it's like an old, I think it was a Tracer or a Pacer or a Gremlin, one of those weird, oddly shaped cars they had back in the late 70s. Real crusty with stickers that I couldn't recognize, dirty looking, you know, it smelled like oil. I mean, it was really awful. Well, it comes up to me, it circles me, okay? Then comes up behind me so that the driver, I could see the driver through the driver's side window, and the driver's just pacing me. And it was this scary looking guy. A lot of hair, facial hair, real skinny, just all sucked up, scary looking man. And he leans out, and I'm walking, and I'm looking, and I'm walking, and I'm like, oh shit, please God, if he kills me, make it fast, because I don't want to have to suffer, right? So he leans out his window, and he says, excuse me, ma'am, do you know how to get to Knott's Berry Farm? Do I know how to get to Knott's Berry Farm? Yeah, sure, I know how to get to Knott's Berry Farm. And you know what? If you give me a ride home, which is right up this street, just a few miles, I will draw you a map, because you will pass my house as you head towards Knott's Berry Farm. I figured, the guy was going to kill me anyway. I might as well get in the car, see if I could get a ride. So I hop in the car. The car's filthy. Got an envelope or something and a pencil from the back seat. And he gets back out on my street, and he's driving towards my house, and we're chatting, and I'm drawing out the map, how to get to Knott's Berry Farm. We talked about, I can't remember all the things we talked about, but one of the things we talked about was that book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. So we were chatting about that, and, just this and that, like we were just, two people on a bus, or people at work, or people who knew one another. Never made a pass at me, never asked me if I was a working girl, or, how much for a blowjob, never even mentioned anything like that. So after we passed the last line, I said, yeah, if you pull over here, there's a little break in the fence, and I can just get on over to my house. So he did. He pulled over, and I gave him the map, and I thanked him, and he said, well, thank you, ma'am, you have a nice night. And I got out of the car, and he left, and I got in the house, and whew, tragedy averted. Well, to this day, I see that guy as an angel. I see him as an emissary from those above who love me to get me home safely. So that is the first of 2 more angel stories. So I hope you guys are all having a great night or day. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my tea, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.